Welcome to PHT in the Morning with your host, Pastor David Miller from the Pentecostal Holiness Tabernacle in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of PHT in the Morning with Pastor David Miller. I am Pastor Miller, so we'll be with you for the next few minutes here today on another podcast episode. So I just want to say on the start of this podcast that I'm sorry we had to miss, I don't know if it's 1 week or 2 weeks, but we've been so extremely busy. We had a couple revivals, and then I had to go preach a homecoming revival in Northern Virginia, and we're getting ready for our camp meeting, and I've just been so busy, but I apologize, and we're going to be back today with you on another episode. So anyway, since we're talking about that, I'd like to give everyone a personal invitation to come and be with us at camp meeting number 84. The camp meeting started in 1939 right there in Cincinnati, Ohio. I became the pastor 41 years ago when I just turned 29, and now I just turned 70. So we'd love to have you. If you want to know how to get there, the mailing address is 2100 Springdale Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45231. You can put that in your GPS. It'll take you right there. Camp meeting starts May the 1st through May the 5th. That's Monday to Friday. Douglas Meadow will be preaching Monday night, and Jonathan Brock will be preaching Tuesday night through Friday night. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, our day service at 10 a.m. will be Brother Neil Bridges from Georgia. So we would love to have you to come and be with us in our annual camp meeting. So I'm going to get straight into our podcast right now, and I'm going to use for a title of our podcast today, and I want to ask just a question in this title, and I want to ask you, do you want to be a Polycarp, or would you, or a Peter? Now, the Bible tells us a lot of great things about Simon Peter and what a great man he was. So just stick with us as we go through this podcast with you. In about 155 AD, when one of the early church fathers by the name of Polycarp was threatened with death by fire for his faith in Jesus Christ, and as to deny him, told Polycarp he should deny Jesus Christ. But these are the words, and I quote, "For 86 years have I been his servant, and he has done me no wrong. How can I blaspheme my king who saved me?" Polycarp's response was a great inspiration to anyone who will read it and strive to be like that. What a great answer that he gave. He's never done me no wrong. I've served him 86 years. So even when faced with death, Polycarp said, "I will not deny Jesus Christ." Now, I want you to know a lot of us would say that same thing. Excuse me, I had to get a drink of water there. And a lot of us would believe the same things. We would say, "Not me. I would never deny my Lord. I would never deny Jesus that saved me." But I want to ask you about a great man, one of the disciples actually, and this man done great things for God, by the name of Simon Peter. Now, he also in John chapter 13, also in Mark chapter 14, was saying these same things. When Jesus was there in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was facing the crucifixion, facing death. And right before Christ's death, Peter boldly stood up and said words like this: I would never deny you. I will lay down my life for you. And those words, I think he probably meant those words. I actually think he meant them at the time. But his faith was just not strong enough. When faced with the reality of this, knowing that he might die, who knows, could have died the same death as Jesus did at that very moment. And of course, Peter said, I'd never deny you. But yet Jesus told him words like this. He said, you'll deny me before this night is over 3 times. And in the book of Mark, chapter 14, now, like I said, John says, before the cock crows or the rooster crows, you will deny me thrice or 3 times. But Mark says it more plainly. Before the cock crows twice, you will deny me thrice or 3 times. Now, Peter had followed Christ afar off. As they was leading him out, he wanted to be near to see what was going on. And the Bible said Peter was beneath the palace. There cometh one of the maids of the high priest. By the way, this is Mark 14, verse 66, if you're looking. And when she saw Peter warming himself, she looked upon him and said, thou wast with Jesus of Nazareth. But he denied. Peter denied and said, I know not, neither understand I what thou sayest. He not only said, I don't know what you're talking about. He said, I don't even understand what you're saying. And the Bible said he went out into the porch and the cock crew, or the rooster began to crow. Could you imagine how he must have felt on that day after just pledging his undying loyalty and faith? In just a few hours, he had denied Christ the first time, and the rooster crowed. Then the very next verse, that was verse 68, by the way. Verse 69 said, and a maid saw him again, and she began to say to them that stood by, this is one of them. And he denied it again. That's the second time he denied it. Now, could you imagine how Peter was feeling now? Here he finds himself saying, I will never deny, but in a matter of minutes, he denied Jesus for the second time in a row. And before verse 70 could be over with, the Bible said then, a little bit after that. Now, I don't know what that means, moments or a few minutes, I don't know. But a little after, they that stood by said again to Peter, surely thou art one of them, for thou art a Galilean, and also your speech agreeth thereto. And then the Bible said Peter began to curse and to swear, saying, I know not this man of whom you speak. I mean, in the first place, he lied twice and said he denied Christ. I don't know him. I don't know what you're talking about. And when the third person said, oh, yes, you are. You're one of them. I know you are. He began to curse and to swear. I guess he thought that would put the icing on the cake, that he must not be a child of God. Hey, let me throw this in for good measure. You know what? Peter tried to use this as camouflage. If I curse and swear, they'll know I'm not a Christian. So maybe it'd be a good idea, if you're claiming to be a Christian, that you never curse or swear again, because he used that to prove that he wasn't. And then the Bible said the second time the cock crew, or the rooster crowed. And Peter then called to mind what Jesus said unto him before the cock crow twice. Now that's verse 72 of Mark 14. Thou shalt deny me thrice, or three times. And when he thought thereon, he wept. One of the other four books of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, I forget which one, said he went out and he wept bitterly and he repented. So thank God we serve a good God, that even after Peter denied Christ three times, he repented with a sincere heart and conscience, and God did forgive him. But three times in one night. What are you going to be like in this day? We are in an odd kind of a time, I guess you would say. We're in a time now, if you mention anything at all, you have people coming against you. If you preach on any kind of sin, teach against any kind of sin, you're frowned on by a lot of society. Not all, but a lot. But I want to tell you something today. Amidst all of the people that would frown on me being a child of God or being a Christian, I'm going to stand up firm. And I'm praying, God, give me the grace. God, give me the strength. Give me the power to be like Polycarp and not like Simon Peter. Help me, Jesus, when I say I'll never deny you, to be able to follow through on my words. Truly, you will be tried. Yes, you will. If you're a child of God, you're going to be tried. But you can do it if you'll just continue to pray and seek God. I believe God can help you through. I'm not going to try to go against and say bad things about Simon Peter. He was a great man. He was just kind of the first one to jump up and say, not me, or he was kind of vocal, but he was still a man of God, still a child of God. And because of his repentance, God did forgive him. So this morning, I ask one more time, what would you like to be? Would you want to be more like Peter, or would you want to be more like Polycarp? I cannot go against him who saved me all those years ago. Well, God's blessings to every one of you that are listening to PHT in the morning. And I hope this day finds you doing well. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And as we go off of this podcast episode, do not deny Christ. Hold on to your faith. Stand strong in the Lord, and the Lord will help you.